So as you guys already know, Parkour has dropped yet another update, and with it has come a new gear called Kirito. So as you can see, I already have it on my back. I am in update testing, by the way. I'm just trying to get this video out on time, but everything about Kirito is going to stay the exact same as it pushes to the main game. So essentially, Kirito is a new back gear that is, you know, a sword. You can see it on my back, obviously. And it will be available for all veterans, so anyone who has a vet tag. And it'll also be available in the Game Pass shop for, I think, 800 Robux, so that could change. So you're probably wondering, what does this new gear do? For anybody who played back in the day, back in 2020, 2019, you probably know about FPS moves. Well, guess what? This gear brings them back. So all the old FPS moves are back in the game, and I will be going over each and every one of them so you know how to do them. So if you don't know what an FPS move is, essentially these were old moves that, you know, some random line of code caused them, and the higher FPS you had, so as you can see, I have, let me close chat. Okay, I can't close chat. Of course, why the fuck can I not close chat? So as you can see in the top left now, you know, the chat is kind of in the way. I can't close it for some reason, but that's fine. I have around 140, 150 FPS. The higher FPS you have, the faster you will go with these moves. So as you can see, I'm on, you know, 1 graphics. So I'm trying to get as much FPS as possible. If you're on like 60 FPS, these moves really aren't going to work very well for you. So the other thing that Kirito can do is completely remove the speed cap in the game. So currently in game, you can only go 250, I think, studs per second. I think that's a unit. And if you try and go past that, the game just limits you at that. With Kirito, if you press your back gear keybind, your velocity is completely uncapped. So you can go as fast as possible. I think up until like 9999, but who the hell is going to hit that, you know? And this allows for some really fun gameplay. The only downside to Kirito is that, one, you obviously can't use it in time trials. So you can't have, you know, FPS moves and no speed cap in time trials. And the other thing is that you can't do any combos with it, because I think that would be pretty overpowered if you could. Alright, so this is me about 2 days after those recordings, and I had the video all edited, all ready to go, and I was just waiting for the update, and I was messing around in-game with a Kirito, and I found another FPS move that I wanted to put at the beginning of the video before all of the other FPS moves, because this one doesn't require grappler. So I'm putting this one first. I'm going to end up saying that all the FPS moves require grappler. This is the only one that doesn't. So let me show it to you real quick. So what you're going to want to do for this one is, you don't need grappler, as I said. You literally just want to long jump on a building, and then coil, and then hold any movement key into the building. And it's going to look like this. And this allows you to get a lot of height, and if you do it correctly, a lot of speed. So you can kind of, it's a little bit hard to aim. You can aim it in certain directions. You can get some pretty good dashes with this if you go like this and that, you know. I think this one is actually might be the most useful. I know I probably say like, oh, this one's the most useful later in the video, but I didn't know about this one at the time. So yeah, this is like probably the most useful one. Yeah, look how high up I go from that. Alright, so let me start off with the first and, in my opinion, the easiest FPS move. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I think all of these FPS moves do require you to have grappler. So if you don't have grappler, you won't be able to do these FPS moves. So the first, and in my opinion, the easiest FPS move is this one right here. Look at that. Look how fast you go. I immediately hit the speed cap right there. So I don't really have a name for this, but I'm just going to call it the grapple below you crawl FPS glitch. So how you do this one, it's pretty straightforward. You have to go into third person, not shift lock, and you aim right where your feet are. So right at the base of your feet. Then all you do is grapple, and when you're facing straight down, right as you grapple, you hold whatever your crawl keybind is, and you turn around, so you press S. And it should look like this. Look at that. You get a lot of speed right there. And if you have your velocity uncapped, it can actually go a lot faster. Like that. If you don't die, obviously. But so that can be pretty useful. You know, if you're just running and you want to get some speed, you can do that really fast. And yeah, that's the first one. The second FPS move I'm going to show you, now this is a little bit harder, but not that hard, is this one right here. Look at that. I made it all the way to the other building in one move. So how you do this one's also, in my opinion, relatively straightforward. It might take a few attempts, but you will get it. You want to just be on the ground, you know. You have to be on the ground. You look up at a building, and you grapple up. As soon as you grapple up, right as you leave the ground, you want to hold your crawl keybind, and you want to press the movement key that you want to go in. So D or A, and holding W with it will make you go faster. But you do have to hold one of the side movement keys, so D or A. So when you put it all together, it should look like this. Again, not too hard, in my opinion, not one of the hardest ones. And I think this one might be the most useful one, because you can kind of do this really anywhere. And it gives you probably the most speed. So if you want to get around really fast on the ground, you can just kind of do it on here, like that. Boom, 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 boom. The third FPS move. Now this one is a lot more situational and, in my opinion, a lot harder to perform. So you want to be in the air, and while you're moving up, you're going to grapple, coil, and then hold A or D in the opposite direction that you want to move. So let's say I want to go over to that building over there, even though you obviously can't see it. My graphics really low. I'll go like this. I'll get off the ground. I'll grapple, coil, and then hold A. And that will bring me pretty far to that direction. So you're going to grapple up, hold A, and coil. Now this one is a lot more situational, and it is a lot harder, and the only downside to it is that you actually cannot grapple fall cancel after, because you don't have your grapple anymore. So use it wisely, you know, only use it when you think that you're going to be able to survive. Like, I can land on that, even though I fucking suck. The fourth FPS move is actually something I kind of made myself. So, if you're not aware, if you're doing a wall run and you grapple, you actually get to keep your grapple pull. So what I found out is that, now this one, in my opinion, is pretty hard to learn and master, but it is very useful because you keep your grapple pull after. So it looks like this. And you can see I got a lot of height there and a lot of speed. So this one is difficult, but what you want to do is start a wall run, look all the way up, as far up as possible up the building that you can still grapple. And while holding wall running, you want to grapple. Now, as soon as your grapple connects, you want to hold the opposite movement key in the direction you want to go. So if you want to go to the right, you'll hold A. To the left, you hold D. And you can hold W as well if you want. And it'll give you a little bit extra speed. So hold W or A or W or D, and then coil while you're moving. Now, it sounds a little confusing. I might not have explained that very well, but hopefully watching me do it makes a little bit of sense, and you can kind of figure it out like that. Now, the fifth FPS move, this one is very useful, a little bit difficult, but I think this is probably the most versatile. You can use this literally anywhere. What you want to do is, while you're standing still and in first person, you want to look down, and then you're going to grapple the ground, jump, and then press the movement key D or A, whichever direction you want to go this time, and then you're going to coil. So you want to recap, you want to grapple, jump, movement key, coil, and it should look like this. And you can see I just got a lot of speed right there, and if you're really good, you can keep it going. And you can probably make it to that building, actually. Let's see. Look at that, did it right there, and I even got above the speed cap. Now, because of the way FPS moves work, your actual movement in the game is slightly altered. So there are certain things that you can do while you have high velocity and coiling. And it's not really something I'm going to cover in my video, but it is something that you could probably figure out uses for. And if you want to make a mention of it, leave it in the comments. So that is it for the new gear Kirito. I think I covered basically everything. I just want to make one more mention that if you use your back gear keybind, you can go past the current velocity speed cap, and that allows for some really nice gaps. So really play around with that. Honestly, that's my favorite part of the Kirito. I do promise I will upload more videos going forward, because, you know, Legacy will have a very big update, hopefully coming soon, but I will cover this current update in a separate video.